Hey, say hi to the camera. There's a phrase that one of my ex-girlfriends told me that I will never forget. At the beginning of our relationship, things were going well. We were dating, communication was well, sex and attraction was on point, but eventually, things started to get a little bit worse. And one of the main reasons for this was that sex in the relationship was just getting very, let's say, disappointing, if not totally lame. I basically wanted to have sex all the time as a man with high libido, and I think that that's normal. I think that it's normal that guys want to have sex because high libido and high sex drive is normal in a healthy guy. However, that feeling wasn't mutual. It wasn't the same coming from her, and that's when she said the phrase that I still remember, "I'm just not a sexual girl." And I thought in my mind that makes sense, because there are some girls that actually like to have sex and there are other girls that they just don't like it that much. So I thought of the fact that at the beginning of the relationship we were having sex all the time and that this decreasing was actually something normal because it's like the exacting phase we already crossed it, and now it reached that plateau because she wasn't a sexual girl. It was normal for her to eventually just not wanting it that much. That's what I thought, but obviously this wasn't true. It was totally fake because when we broke up for different problems, but being sex one of these factors, because it eventually reached to the point where she didn't want to have sex at all. Once she started to date other guys, and don't ask me how I know this, she started to have sex with the other guys all the time in a way that she never did with me. That was because the problem wasn't her. It's not that she wasn't a sexual girl. The problem was actually me. So whenever you hear the saying, whenever you hear to your woman saying, "I'm just not a sexual girl," and something between the lines of, "Oh no, it's me, it's just that I don't like it that much," think the same. Problem is not her. The problem is you. And today I want to discuss this problematic so you know what to do if you ever hear that phrase. My name is Jesus Noya. I'm a Venezuelan sex coach with the goal of helping men to last longer in bed, become sexually dominant, and be more attractive. All this while avoiding the deadly mistakes that I made through my sex life. This comes from my years of experience dating in South America and all the struggles that I had to go through, like premature ejaculation, performance anxiety, and non-existent sexual confidence. Today I want to debunk that big misconception and concept that is that women aren't sexual creatures or that women don't like sex as much as men, because having that kind of mindset, having that kind of perception, it usually just plays against you. So we want to walk through that and share some things that were useful for me around that topic. And just very quick, if you're experiencing things like premature ejaculation, performance anxiety, or if you would like to accelerate the process for you to become a sex god, you can go and click the link in the description right now, and that way we can work together on making that reality for you as soon as possible. I would say that the first thing that we have to understand when addressing this problematic or this phrase is that with basically most that women say in our relationships, we have to base here mainly on the emotions and the things that they're expressing instead of like literal words that they're saying. Girls can say the exact same phrase, but depending on the emotions that it's saying it is what's going to actually matter. A girl can call you stupid, like you're an asshole, stupid, laughing and being proper cute, and what they're saying is actually that I love you or that I want to have sex with you, I'm attracted to you, that I like you so much. You can see this from the emotions from where she's saying that. She can also say this while crying and being proper upset and like mad at you, but even with that energy, it's not like she's telling you that because she hate you and she doesn't want you in her life anymore. It's more like she's upset. She's saying this from the emotional feeling of being upset. However, if she's doing it from a point of disrespect where you notice that what is actually in her heart, in her person, it's just like disrespectfulness or like seeing you as pathetic, then you know that it's a problem. Then you know that that's actually a big deal. Then you know that she's actually believing what she's saying. So this is the main thing with what women say around relationships. It is usually more from what are the emotions surrounded what they're saying instead from the literal meaning in their words. They don't usually do this like totally conscious. It's more like just a natural thing for some reason. While with men it's different because we usually put like more weight on our words. Usually what we say is something important for us, and we're just not going to say a woman that I hate you or like you're a bitch or things like that because we take this as like more serious, right? We can also like joke about it from time to time, but usually when we say something it's like we are doing it without intention. Women just don't take care of those kind of things that much, and especially when it comes to sex, this is when it becomes really important because you have to look at where are her emotions pointing. If she's telling you I'm not a sexual girl, but you see that she's like kinda bored or frustrated or like she's not enjoying sex as much, you have to think about it for 1 second. It is actually because this girl is not enjoying what is like one of the most pleasurable activities that a human being can do, that is literally wired in their brain to do. It is actually that she doesn't enjoy that, or it may be because of something else. What do you think? I know that sometimes it's gonna be kind of difficult to like properly interpret what she may want to say, but it is not that hard, bro. You just have to look in the way that she's saying whatever she's saying, right? It is actually sometimes very obvious. If she say, for example, that she doesn't like dominant guys or masculine guys, but you see her like teasing you or like basically like test you in order for you to like man up and like dominate her, bro, don't follow her words. She actually wants the opposite of what she's saying. She actually wants you, again, as I said, to man up and start to be more dominant over her, to show that masculine part of yourself so she can start to enjoy sex way more. Take action always based more on her emotions, not her words. I met a girl, for example, that when we started today, she was like proper shy all the time, right? She said that she didn't want to kiss me that much, that she was actually like, I wouldn't say afraid, but let's say like nervous with everything that we would do, right? But at the same time, she was like always pulling to like do some crazy stuff around, like start to have contact in public places or things around those lines. She would say like, no, I don't want to, but at the same time she was like teasing me to do it. And the funny stuff is that the first few times when I didn't do it, when I actually like follow her words, she would get kind of bored, even telling her friends why I was so scared. This is because I was being not enough to follow what she was literally saying when the signals were actually clear. And I was actually thinking to continue and do what I actually wanted to do, that was like keeping with the interaction with her, like keeping kissing her and do all the stuff. But at the same time, because I was listening to her, it was like I should probably stop, because I was like always having this kind of mindset that if women say something, it's because they actually mean that. And I know some people may get triggered for this, but that is not always the truth. When it's something like super obvious, if your girl's telling you like, okay, pass me the salt, it's not like, okay, she doesn't mean that, she's saying something else. Not a lot of autistic level, but I'm talking about like more of these subtle occasions when you have to go more with the flow of her emotions, her body language, and what she actually wants. So I will say it one more time, and this is the main lesson out of this: take action based on her emotions, not that much from her words. The next thing that I would like to clarify is that women and your girlfriend are usually wild, even if she's shy, small, religious, or like a very pinky Hello Kitty girl. You know, those kind of girls that are very girly. Even those ones have actually like a sex animal inside of them. Actually, maybe even to levels that you wouldn't expect. And this is why the myth of women aren't sexual usually causes a lot of bad things. Because if we take that as a truth, we see as normal when a woman doesn't want to have sex that much with her partner. However, if we see the opposite, if we take as a reality that, okay, all women actually love and desire sex, in the moment that we see that this is not the case, we know that there's something that is out of place that we have to fix or that we have to work on to go back to normal. Because if not, what's going to happen is that she's not going to be sexual with you, but with other guys, absolutely. And I really don't want that for you, because I know how much it hurts, right? I know that it actually sucks. The problem with this comes when it is sometimes kind of difficult like to imagine that perfect, beautiful girl like being a sexual animal, right? Specifically when we like those religious, feminine, small girls. It's like we can imagine them like being this overly sexual creature. So when we go in a relationship or we marry her and she starts to say something around those lines of, I'm not a sexual girl, we take it at, okay, makes sense, because this girl's like, you know, she's like shy, she's gentle, she probably doesn't want this kind of things that much, it's like too much for her. It makes sense in our brain, but it's not actually helping us. Take as a reality always that all women, no exception, actually love sex in the same way that all men, with no exception, actually enjoy sex, right? Like, you say that about men, it's not crazy, like it's not that hard to think about it. So why it is supposed to be different for women? Of course that men and women are different, but when it comes to that biological need, that biological pull, it is very similar, it's almost the same. So if that's the case and you already understand that this is how most women are, now it's time for you to take action. The important part here for now on is that you start to take responsibility for the perception that women have on you. If you are with a woman or a girl that is not being sexual, she's not being sexual with you. She will be with other men. If a woman is not showing attraction, like that sexual chemistry that you will like from her, it is not because of her, it is because of you. You're not able to pull that trigger on her. She will have it with other guys. but there is something that you don't know, that you're not doing, that you're not performing correctly, that is simply not provoking that on her. This could happen before going into the relationship or already being in the relationship. In both cases, it's still your responsibility to do something about it. I know a guy, for example, let's gonna call him Carlos. Carlos is someone that is very close to me, and I saw him how he was getting into this relationship. That, to be honest, I thought that he wasn't ready for it. But you know, they get liking and everything, so they start to have sex, they start to go into a relationship, things were going well. I saw a couple of things that I knew that were going to cause problems ahead in Carlos' relationship. Carlos has more of this like modern day mentality where like relationships are like 50-50 around men and women. And I told him like, bro, that is going to end up very, very bad. If you go through this, what you can expect from your relationship is depolarization. Depolarization is men and women are attracted mainly because they're like polar opposites, right? In same ways as like magnets. If this polarization from masculine to feminine is absolutely gone, there's not attraction anymore. And what actually causes this polarization comes from like the main traits that both energies has. Like in masculinity, it's usually like strength, providing, leadership. Like if I have to like say it in one word, it would be more like control, but not controlling in a like a toxic way of manipulation people. No, like control over oneself, over our direction, over knowing where we want to go. That's mainly like the traits from masculinity, and things like strength, dominance, like leadership, all those things are like in some way like a certain kind of control. Women usually it's more like things around like love and emotionally. Basically, I would say that it's something around support. Women are more like this giving energy. Like the act of creating a life is an act of giving, and that's usually like the main energy for women. So those are the things that causes that polarization, those opposites. Carlos wasn't doing anything to cause those masculine traits, to actually perform those masculine traits. If anything, it was just like being lame because he wanted to have, as I said, like that 50-50 energy. So he was here. He didn't have a direction. He was always asking his woman for everything. He wasn't like setting up things for himself around his life. He was like just depending mainly on the relationship. And I was telling him, again, bro, if you keep going down this path, things are going to die eventually. That woman is going to want to go. And that's exactly what ended up happening. When she wanted to leave, Carlos ended up asking me, Jesus, but I did everything that she said. Why does she want to leave? And I told him like, that's exactly why she wants to leave. You did everything that she said. Absolutely everything. You listened to her words, not even considering if what she was saying was actually right. If what she was saying was actually right for you or the relationship. If what she was saying was actually good for her. You just did all that she said and you did nothing to take care about the relationship. I was being a little bit too harsh on him because he was trying, right? Like he was trying to work, he was trying to provide, he was trying to keep everything right. I know that he was trying to be nice, but this is not the way that you want to do things. When I say you have to do everything on your part, is that you have to take the right actions in order to achieve what you know is the best thing for the relationship. If you see that the relationship is dying, if you see that your woman doesn't want to have sex anymore, if she says, I'm not a sexual girl, take action immediately and start to work on the things that you know will make a difference. What are these things? Start to work on your masculinity, on your dominance, on your sex performance, on your health, on the basis, on the pillars that you know that build up that relationship since the beginning. Instead of not taking responsibility for this, for she saying this, I would say that actually take it personal. Take that inside of you as a challenge and say like, all right, she's not a sexual girl. I'm going to change her mind. I'm going to be so good that even if she's like asexual, I'm going to change her mind forever to the point where she wants to have sex with me every day. Take that as a mindset where you're going to reach to the point of being the best sex of her life. And you will see how it would actually happens when you put the right effort and the right actions into it. That's what I should have done. And I know that if I knew this early, probably that relationship would last way more, probably years. I mean, we never know, but I knew that at least I would have saved like a lot of the BS that I went through. And it would start earlier to go on the journey of becoming like this masculine, powerful, and healthy guy that I'm striving to be today. And I'm actually happy with the progress that I made. And that's what I really want for you. For you to start to take the right actions to get the desired life that you want. A beautiful and meaningful sex life with a woman that you love. Being the man that you know that you're supposed to be. Again, man, just very quick, remember that if you're struggling with things like premature ejaculation, performance anxiety, or if you just want to accelerate the process for you to become a sex god, you can go and click the link in the description right now, and that way we can work together on making that reality for you as soon as possible. But besides that, man, I really hope all of this has helped you. I'll see you later.